unmute right now. At the end of the presentation, I will adjust those settings so that you can unmute if you need to ask Suzanne some questions. I have just found in the past, sometimes those unmute buttons, if I don't have them locked, sometimes people accidentally unmute and it gets a little disruptive sometimes. So. We have several people joining us today. I was really excited to see how many people were interested in the subject. Suzanne always gives a great presentation, and there's always a lot of interest in this. So I'm excited to hear Suzanne's presentation today, and I know you will be as well. Make sure you take plenty of notes. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for just a moment. Those that have joined me before, we like to just do a quick little overview of our Small Business Development Center. And so if you would indulge me for that just a minute, I'll have my little short presentation and then I'll pass the screen to Suzanne. All right. So today we are going to offer you a training that covers patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. My name is Cindy Ruminer. Most of you have seen me on the trainings before, and I am the training manager. I'm actually housed at the state office, which is in Durant, Oklahoma, and is on the campus of Southeastern University. Today's featured speaker is Suzanne Reinman, and she is located in Stillwater. I have her email and phone number on the screen for you if you would like to reach out to her. I will say that we've had several people on these trainings before that have reached out to Suzanne and have expressed how much she has helped them along their way. Here's a few webinar tips. I've already muted your mics, so you don't have to worry about that. We want to make sure we utilize the chat feature today. So as we move through the presentation, if you have any questions that come top of mind, please enter those in the chat stream. We will let Suzanne get through her presentation today before we get those questions answered. Sometimes I have found that if we answer those questions as they come up, the presentation gets derailed a little bit and we end up going way over the timeline. So we want to be courteous to Suzanne's time schedule and to yours as well. So we will answer those questions at the end of the presentation, and then you will have the chance to unmute as well if you need to ask Suzanne some questions. The webinar is being recorded, but we do not share the recording. We share the PowerPoint slides and any attachments that may be referenced, but the recording is actually contained for internal purposes only. So I apologize for that. Be mindful of other participants that may be on the screen as well. If you're going to be double tasking and moving around a little bit, just make sure your video screen is turned off. Sometimes that can be a little distracting. And then sometimes people get busy and they actually forget that their video screen is on. And sometimes you're walking around and people may end up seeing your house or your background office or whatever it is. So just be mindful of that if you're going to be double tasking to have your video screen off. All right, a little bit about the Oklahoma Small Business Development Center and what we do. We provide confidential, high quality, of course, no cost advising to all small businesses throughout Oklahoma. We are committed to helping grow Oklahoma's economy, one small business at a time. And for those of you that may not know, you may be wondering, how do we actually do that? Well, it's because we are funded in part by the SBA, and we also have other partners where we are housed, like colleges, career techs, chambers of commerce, other economic development entities as well. where we are located. So this is a state map that shows you all of our current locations throughout Oklahoma. We do cover the entire state. So no matter where you're located, you can take advantage of our free and confidential advising. Right now, we actually have one of the largest teams of staff that we've ever had in the history, which is a great thing. We have a little over 30 advisors on our team, and we're all strategically placed throughout the state of Oklahoma. Each one of those advisors may also have a specific area of expertise. So, for example, if someone signs up for advising and they're wanting to go into the restaurant business, if we have an advisor somewhere in the state that who has a strong history in restaurant management or ownership, then that's who we would pair them up with. We do a lot of co-advising as well. So it's important for you to know, if you take advantage of the advising, that you get the entire SBDC team at your service and not just one single individual. We are all interested in your success as an entrepreneur. Most of our advisors have in the past owned businesses or may even currently own a business. So believe me, we all understand the many challenges you face on a daily basis. This is just a short list of some of the areas of expertise in which we advise. There are many more. We have an international trade center. We actually have an ag launch program that we're very active in. So there are many things that we do at Oklahoma Small Business Development Center that you may not be aware of. I invite you to take a look at our website, take a tour around, get to know us a little bit that way if you would like to know a little bit more about what we do. And I invite you to sign up for advising. I promise you a very successful experience with that. All right, so I'm going to stop my screen share. And I'm going to pass the microphone to Suzanne and let her begin her presentation. And without further ado, Suzanne, you can take it away.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm really glad to be with all of you today. It's great to see you. So I want to thank Cindy and the Oklahoma Small Business Development Center for hosting these webinars. They're a really important resource for our state, so thank you. Cindy will be taking questions. You can send questions through chat throughout the presentation, and then we will be answering them at the end. We'll have some time at the end. I have a lot of information in the slides. Cindy will send the slides to you after this morning. If you have questions, if you'd like to explore some of the information in the slides, please give me a call or email, and we'll work together through some of what we're covering today. So I'm going to get my screen shared here. Okay, so that's my cover slide. Does everybody have that on their screen?
Looks great, Suzanne.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to work through the slides. Cindy will send these, and we'll save questions at the end. So I am with the Patent and Trademark Resource Center here at Oklahoma State University. We are a part of the network under the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So they are the agency that handles patents and trademarks. I can help you with preliminary patent research, trademark research, and just getting you to the right place as far as IP resources at the patent office. There's no charge for our services. You have my contact information, and this is our website here. So we are located, the PTRCs are located throughout the country. There's one in every state. So in Oklahoma, we're the only center here at OSU. Other states have, like Texas and California, have several. So if you're in another state, you can reach out to the PTRC in that area. So we are set up to assist you at a local level. I'll have some contact information for the patent office later in the slides, but please reach out to us first and then we'll get you to the right place. So here's an outline of what the slides will cover today. We'll look at the Invention Roadmap. So when you have a new product, how do you get started? Where do you go? And then we'll look at in intellectual property, what it is. Those are options for protecting what you have developed, definitions of what those things are, costs, timeframes, how to apply, how to do research, and then the resources at the patent office and also in our states. And then we'll have time at the end for questions. So here's, I guess all of you are here because you have a new product or you're thinking of something new. So we have outlined a map of kind of what it looks like if you're getting started with your product or your idea. So these are the things we're going to walk through. The next couple slides are going to go over documenting your invention. Does your product already exist? Market evaluation, concept evaluation, so market research, intellectual property decision, and then selling or licensing your product. And you can see that I've outlined all of the resources that we have here in our state and how each resource works with each of those areas. So documenting your invention. It is a really good idea to have a notebook or a logbook, and I've used an example right here of one. Try to find a book that that's bound on the spine so that you can't take the pages out of it. It's a great way to keep good records. So the first time you come up with something, make a note and record your progress as you go. It can be a legal record, and it can be a summary at some point of the commercial potential of your product. So this is an example of one, and I have some on the next slide as well. And also a non-disclosure or confidentiality agreement is important, and we'll look at that too. So I went to Amazon and I put in Inventor's Journal, and I came up with several, here's one for $5. So it's really good to have a notebook and keep track of your progress. You can go to Walmart and get, they just have books for students that just make sure it's bound on the spine. And the Nolo Press is a legal publisher, and they also have this, it's called the Inventor's Notebook. It's specifically for patents, but it can be very helpful as you work through, the progress of your work. This is a confidentiality agreement. This is a generic one that we have here at Oklahoma State. If you're talking with people about your invention or your product, it is a really good idea to use something like this. I can email this to you if you'd like. It basically says you are party A and the person you're speaking with is party B, and that they agree not to disclose what you're telling them. So it's a good idea to have something like that in place. So that is, starting out documenting your invention and protecting yourself a little bit in the beginning. So does your product already exist? It is really important to do some research in the beginning to see what's out there already. Here at the PTRC, I can assist you searching with a preliminary patent search and trademark search at no charge. We're using the databases at the Patent Office and Trademark Office, so that's the agency that manages those two things. So we can work by phone. You don't have to travel to Stillwater. We're here to help you by phone and email, and you can make an appointment if you'd like to visit us as well. Searching the web, this is something you can do on your own. Go to Google, go to Amazon, and see what's out there. There are lots of products already, so you can put some keywords in there that describe what you have and see what other things are out there. If you find something, you can give me a call and we can see, is there a patent on that product, or how does their trademark work? And then you can search trade journals or supply catalogs and just get a good idea of what's out there already. So market research, and this is where Cindy's area comes in, the Small Business Development Center. So they'll help you to put together a business plan and answer some questions like, does your invention solve a problem? What's the competition like already? What other products are out there? Are people going to like it? So you have her contact information here. And the Oklahoma Technology Centers can also help with this kind of thing. They, like the Small Business Development Centers, they are throughout the state. So you can find one in your area. We have one in Stillwater, Meridian Technology Center. They have a business and entrepreneurial service, and many of the tech centers have something like that. So you can check in your area to see. And then we have something in Stillwater also called the New Product Development Center, or the Inventors Assistance Service. They can actually help you create a prototype. They'll do some market research, but they also have engineers there that can help you design, like put into a prototype what you have. And that can be very helpful to get a model together. They do have a fee. They do require a fee, and they have an application also. So the next thing to consider is, protecting your product somehow and what the best option for you is. So patents, and we'll look at each of these in just a little bit. Patents are one. Not every product is patentable. A trademark or a copyright might be a better option. So a patent attorney or an intellectual property attorney can be very helpful at some point, helping you to decide what the best approach for your product is. When we start a patent search here at OSU, you can kind of get an idea, well, if I find a lot of things that are similar, maybe a patent is the best approach. If we don't find anything, maybe there's another option like a trademark or a copyright. But these are all legal documents or entities, patents, trademarks, copyrights, so it can help to have a legal practitioner give their input at some point. There are programs at the Patent Office to help with costs. There's the pro bono program, and there's a law school program at Arizona State, and I will show you those in a little bit. There are lots of invention firms out there. I'm sure you've seen them on TV. LegalZoom is one of them. It is one of the more reputable ones. So that might be one to work with, but just proceed with caution with these firms that are out there. There are many scams. And USPTO has a link here about that. I have linked put some links to other ones here from the Federal Trade Commission, another one from the Patent Office, and IP Watchdog, which is a good .com firm for inventors. So you might read through some of this if you're thinking of working with a company other than LegalZoom. And then the decision you have your product, are you going to manufacture and sell it on your own? Or are you going to license it to someone else to manufacture and sell it? This is, again, where Cindy comes in. The Small Business Development Centers can help you decide, what your approach is going to be, or the technology centers. So also, product and market planning or research, business plans, and that is what they handle. So these are some other resources to consider. SCORE is a national organization. These are usually retired men and women that have been in the business world, and they are offering their expertise for free as mentors to help small businesses get off the ground and so on. So you can explore their website and maybe find someone who is in the area that you are in. For example, if you're like in the oil industry, and you could find a retired executive from the oil and gas area who could walk you through maybe some processes. And then we have REI in Oklahoma. Cindy works with them often. They have events also, such as Business Basics, starting your own business. They have a business startup guide you can download, and they have special programs for women and Native Americans. So you can check with Cindy about what they offer. And then if you're working on a food product, we have an ag product center here at OSU, and they have a food they have a workshop every few months. There is a fee, but it's very helpful. These are some of the things we cover here. When you're working with foods, what regulations you have to work with, we would talk about trademarks, labeling, and that kind of thing. So any food, anybody with foods, this is a good place to look into. So let's look at the intellectual property, which are options for protecting what you have. And we've talked a little bit about these already. These are all things that are protected by federal law: patents, trademark, copyright. And we'll look at each of these to see, if one of these might be the best option for you. So patents you have protection for usually 20 years for a new invention, and then you disclose that. It's available in the Patent Office database. Trademarks are just the name or a logo, like Apple or Starbucks. And then copyright usually protects websites, procedures, manuals, things like that. So, and then trade secrets are not disclosed. So the iPhone is a good illustration of intellectual property. They have all three. Apple has all three for the iPhone. So the patent protects the phone itself, how it works. They have a trademark, which is the Apple name and logo. And then they have copyright for the apps, the design, and so on. And so this is the first page of the iPhone patent. So page patent. So the first page is just the basic information about the inventors and the company and so on. So like I said, patents they're a legal document from the US government. They protect an inventor for usually 20 years from the date of file. So they have exclusive rights to that invention, to make it, use it, sell it, and so on. And then once it expires, it comes into the public domain. So the patents have to meet certain criteria. They have to be new, never done before, not obvious. They protect how something works. They're administered by the Patent Office. And usually it's helpful to have a patent attorney at some point. So some examples of what patents are: the iPhone, we saw that one. A new design or mechanism for a tow hitch for your vehicle. Can be in the areas of science or medicine, like new COVID treatments, or a new design for a fishing lure. So they cover a whole realm of different things. In the United States, there's 9 million patents, so that's quite a few. Here's another example of a patent. It's just the first page. This is an 8-page patent. This is done by someone in Stillwater. So it's a process for creating and bagging animal bedding. So they cover all different kinds of things. They have lots of information in them. So if you sat down with a patent and you were expert in that area, you could build it. It gives you the diagrams and it gives you a lot of description. So the Patent Office offers a lot of good information on their website. We're at uspto.gov Patents Basics. So they'll cover things like, what is a patent? Do I need a patent? Trademark, copyright, understanding the process is on that page. Utility patents are the most common. They last for 20 years and they cover things that work, or chemicals. So when we think of a patent, we think of a utility patent. Design patents are another option, and they just protect the look of something. So you can see on my screen, it's an airplane with two bodies and one wing. So that they're not protecting how that airplane works. It's only the design of it. So auto companies get patents every year because they change their body styles. Furniture, things like that can be design patents. So here's an example of I think this is Rolls-Royce. So they you can tell a design patent. It has a D up here next to the number. And it's only the drawings, only how it looks. So things you can't patent: an idea. The patents that we've looked at, you can see are, they have half of them are drawings, half of them are a detailed description about how something works. So we have to put something into practice, reduce it to practice to get a patent. Methods of doing business, scientific principles, naturally occurring things we can't get a patent on. So sometimes you'll hear about provisional patents. So this is a good approach to take. It's a a smaller fee to the patent office. It holds your place or protects you for a year while you decide maybe the approach you want to take, getting funding. So it holds, like I said, it holds your place at the patent office before you file the regular application within the year. You can use the patent pending notice on this. And like I said, you can assess it a little bit. Is this going to be commercially successful before you go ahead with the full cost of an effort of filing a regular application for a patent? So like I said, patents are legal documents. They involve some cost. You're going to spend $300 for a basic, just the paperwork to the patent office plus other fees. You're looking at $8,000 a ballpark if you hire a patent attorney to help you with this. The attorney is going to do the additional research. I can help you with the preliminary searches here, but they're going to search in the United States and other countries to make sure it's not been done before. They're going to write the patent for you. Like I said, it's legal. It takes some expertise to put them together. There are some resources that can assist you with the cost, and we'll look at those in a little bit. And you're looking at it 1.5 to 2 years for the patent to issue once you send the regular application to the patent office. So why do you want a patent? You want to gain entry, you want to make money with it, is basically why. You want to get into a market, or you can sell or license a patent to someone else and let them do all of the work. So that's another option. So this slide, I'll condense it, is the world allows one patent on something. So if you get a patent in the United States, no one else in the world can get a patent on that device. They can, however, manufacture it. So if you have a patent only in the US, people in China can make that and sell it, which is what happens. So you have the option of filing your patent in other countries to prevent that. There's an organization, the World Intellectual Property Organization, that can help with that, filing your patent in multiple countries. And this says that in the United States, whoever files the patent first is awarded that patent. So whoever gets to the patent office first with their paperwork is the winner, basically. It used to be whoever, if you could prove, if you thought of something first, if you had a good notebook, now it's whoever gets to the patent office first. So resources at the patent office, we saw one slide already that outlined some of their information about patents. USPTO.gov is their website. So I put the URLs at the top if you'd like to get back and explore these some more. So the patent process step-by-step, searching patents, which I can help you with. They have a frequently asked questions section, and they have a whole section for independent inventors, talking about, if you want to pursue filing a patent on your own, legal assistance and resources in our state here in Oklahoma, and the Inventors Assistance Center. So the patent process step-by-step, this is what they have on their site. Determine the type of intellectual property that you need. Is a patent the best choice? Is a trademark better? Again, an attorney could help you with this. Determine if your invention is patentable. So this is very helpful here. And the other steps are, what kind of patent do you need? Getting ready to apply, preparing your application, working with the examiner. So if you send your paperwork into the patent office, you will be assigned one of their examiners to work with you and walk you through the patent process. So we talked about resources here for inventors at the patent office. There's something called the Pro Se program. So this is for inventors that want to walk through the process on their own without an attorney. So it just helps you through if that's something you want to do. The other programs, one is called Patent Pro Bono. So this is if you meet certain financial criteria, it can work with you through the Pro Bono program. There's also clinics at law schools that can help you at a lesser cost. So let's look at each of these. These are the things for the pro bono program. Some of their requirements: you have to meet income, you have to demonstrate to them some knowledge of the patent system, and you have to describe your invention in good detail. So this is our, for more information about pro bono at the USPTO, this is the contact there in Missouri. And they handle these states here: Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma. And then the law school clinic are the one that works with us is Arizona State. So they have law students that can help with patents and trademarks at a lesser cost. And any of these, you have questions about any of this, please reach out to me. And then there's an Inventors Assistance Center at the USPTO to assist with questions. They cannot give you legal advice, but they can assist with basic questions, and this is their contact information. So if you wanted to find a patent or an intellectual property attorney, this is the link at the patent office where you can search, usually by cities. In Oklahoma, most of them are in Tulsa or Oklahoma City. That is a good way to find someone. I can help you navigate this as well. And this site I found is pretty good. I would suggest that you take a look at it. This is not the patent office. This is an organization called IP Watchdog. They've been around since 1999, and they have this link is a really good overview of getting started if you're considering a patent. So I would encourage you to look at this page, especially the getting started section. So it's kind of nice to have a view other than the patent office. So let's walk through this, how you would start out with a patent search. And this is where I can help you. Again, we can search by phone or help you by phone. These databases are all free and online, so you don't have to make a trip to Stillwater. So these are the steps that we walk through. We can't really search patents thoroughly with just a keyword search. We start out actually with a search in Google Patents. We're going to put some keywords in that describe what you're working on. And then we're going to end up at the patent office using, it's called classification. So we want to find the best technology area for your invention, and then we're going to search that. So these steps here or my slides will show you what that is. So Google Patents is great. It's patents.google.com, but it's only the beginning of a search. It's not complete. Like I said, it's really hard to search patents just with words. You'll get an incomplete search, but we'll start there. And it looks like this. It's just the search box, but it's just for patents. And then these areas, these technology areas, help us to do a really good search, a more complete search. So this kind of walks through the process. So my example search is a visor for my car that I use I have one of those cardboard visors right now, or the metallic ones. So what would be really great is, if I could just press a button and a sunscreen would come across my windshield. So that's my search, automatic sun visor. And actually, there are some patents that exist for that. And this is the class where they fit. So I did a search in Google Patents for sun visor vehicle, and I found some good patents, and I looked at their classes and came up with this letter number combination, which has a meaning. So you can see it's an anti-glare equipment for windows or windscreens. So once I have the number that works for me, then I can search it and find. So I'm going from Google Patents, and then I'm ending up at the patent office, which is right here, patent public search. So when I search that class, I get 833 patents for automatic sun, and you can kind of read some of them at the bottom. So you can start out, like I said, in Google and find a few patents, and then we're going to look at them. figure out what class is best for us, go to the patent office and get hundreds of patents to look through. And that can help us decide, is my invention really new? Are other people doing similar things? How can I improve on it? So that's what I can help you with here. And you can also search, say you have a competitor, or say you find a product, is it already patented by another company? We have other ways to search other than just with keywords. We can search by company and so on. So I'm glad to help with any of that. So trademarks are another option to protect what you have. A trademark is just the name or the word that identifies a product in commerce at the federal, mostly the federal level. So here's some brands that we're all familiar with: Cheerios, Ben & Jerry's, Nike, and you can see they have the little R with the circle. So with foods especially, or UPS, the only way they're protecting their brand or their product is with the name or a logo like this. So think of what you're working on, and that might be, an option, the best option for you. They have a good page. Again, the Patent and Trademark Office, they're the agency that handles trademarks. They have, this is the URL up here, they have good information about trademarks, the basics, what is it? Subaru, Planters, you'll see them all over once you know, oh, that's a trademark. So this can be a very valuable asset for your company. Even if you have a patent, you probably also want a trademark to identify your product in commerce. So customers say, oh, I want that can of corn, not this can of corn. The R symbol means it's registered with the US government. And I can help you more with questions about trademarks. You pay a fee just like you do with a patent. They eventually expire. Trademarks do not. As long as you pay your fees, you can keep them in your family or your company for forever. And usually most of us are going to look at registering nationally with the Trademark Office because of the web. We're probably selling products online. You would register with or apply with the US Patent and Trademark Office. States have trademark offices too. If you're a boutique or you're selling at the farmer's market or you're very local, getting a state trademark may be an option. And the first business to use a trademark in the market owns it. So keep that in mind. If you're the first person in the market with that name and that type of product, you have rights to it. And the registration is optional for a trademark, but you get a lot of advantages by registering either with the Federal Trademark Office or the state. So the cost, again, you pay a fee to the US Patent and Trademark Office per type of product. It's $275 per class. And you can use the TM until your application is approved. You do have maintenance fees to pay to keep that trademark alive, and then you renew it every 10 years. The state also has a fee. This is where you can work. This is the Secretary of State in Oklahoma. They handle trademarks at the state level. You do pay a fee for that to them, but it is a lesser fee. So here are some other resources about trademarks at the US Patent and Trademark Office. The URL is here. So Trademark Basics, how to search trademarks. And again, we can help you with that here in Stillwater. This is a really important or really useful link to check out. So what every small business should know now, not later, for trademarks. How do you choose a good name? Do I need to register it? Do I need an attorney? And so on. So these are some things I can help you with here also. And they have a trademark assistance center at the US Patent and Trademark Office. They have an 800 number, just general information. Again, they cannot give legal advice. So there is a database at the USPTO for searching trademarks. I can help you with that. You can also just go to Google again and put the name in that you're thinking of using for your company or your product. This is their search system at the USPTO. And again, we can walk through this together. So I can search, I want to name my salsa True Blue. I can see what other companies, food companies, are out there with the name True Blue. So I'm not going to choose something that's too close to what someone else has already. So when you look at a record, you can see this True Blue Gourmet is for a jam or a chutney type product. So I couldn't choose wording similar to that for my salsa. And then the last is copyright. So anything on the web, your website, if you're coming up with software, if you're putting videos together, photos, manuals, like procedures manuals, these are all going to fall under copyright. And as soon as you create something, you automatically have copyright protection. You can use that C symbol immediately up here. You can put that on your website or your manual. Registration, again, is optional, but it is helpful to do that. That's the Copyright Office that handles copyright. And it's a little less expensive. It's $45 for a registration at copyright.gov, and you can do that on your own. If you need help, I can walk you through that too. So examples of copyright, again, websites, procedures manuals, some designs. You might consider copyright instead of a design patent for some things. Software, photos, videos are all copyright. This is the copyright. It's copyright.gov, and they have a section law. It's a law and policy drop down here, and they have some really good circulars that can help with certain things. Questions that you have are often covered here. And then you can, if you go to the registration link, you can do the registration there. So trade secrets, some companies choose this route instead of copy or patent or trademark. So those are all disclosed. They want to keep it within their own company walls, and this is an option too. No protection from the government, no disclosure, no fees. For example, Coca-Cola formula is a trade secret. So some companies choose this route instead. So we have a lot of questions here about apps. A lot of people working with new apps. So these are mostly protected by copyright and trademark. And this is a book that covers some of this with some quotes about how copyright and trademark are the best approaches for an app. This is this website has some toolkit or toolboxes or toolkits on their site about working with apps. So here's an intellectual property toolbox for mobile application developers, guide to protecting your data in mobile apps, and open source for mobile apps. So this is a good place to explore. And there are also 2 good websites for developing apps. If you're thinking of developing one, create your own Android apps. And then there's an app inventor site at MIT that you might want to look through. So let's see some additional resources. So even more resources at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. They have a whole section for inventors and entrepreneurs. It'll cover some of the things we're talking about today, different types of protection, and they have entrepreneur resources such as startup resources, licensing or selling your intellectual property, and then protecting yourself. We talked about some of the scams that you have to look out for. So they have some good resources here to explore. And then they also have they have events all the time. They have a calendar. So if you go to this link here, you will see a calendar, and they have free online webinars about mostly patents and trademarks, but basics of intellectual property, drafting a provisional patent application, and then the trademark searching, how to register, and so on. So take a look at the calendar at the Patent Office for the webinars. And then I've listed or highlighted some books here. We talked about the Inventor's Logbook from Nolo Press. These are, oh, here it is, the Inventor's Notebook. And then they have some other really good publications like Patent It Yourself, Trademarks, which cover some of the points we talked about today. These are books you can purchase. You can also get them from, if you're in Tulsa, the Tulsa City Library or the Metropolitan System in Oklahoma City. And here's some other ones that we have here. 20 questions to ask if you have a great idea. You know, thinking about how is this invention going to be marketable or profitable. And we have an Inventors Congress in Oklahoma. So they used to meet once a month. I don't know if still since COVID how are they working, but Dan is the president and he is very helpful. So you can reach out to him. So it's inventors getting together once a month usually at a restaurant in Tulsa or Oklahoma City and exchanging ideas and solutions. And so that is another good resource here. And this is my contact information. I'm happy to help with any questions about the slides and getting you to the right place as far as the patent office and helping you with any kind of preliminary research. So Cindy, I'm going to escape here. Do you need my screen?
You might leave it up just for a minute in case anyone trying to grab a pen and write your contact information down. I do want to remind everyone that I will be emailing a copy of this presentation that Suzanne has used today. However, it might be Monday before you receive that. I've had a few trainings that I need to provide follow-up on as well. And so this might end up following in that Monday timeframe. So I apologize for that, but I do assure you that you will get a copy of this presentation. If for some reason you don't see it in your email, please reach out to me and let me know. Technology is not always perfect, but I will make sure you get a copy of that. Let's go to the chat stream and see what questions may have been dropped in there. Suzanne, are you able to see that chat screen as well?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay if you can't. I'll let me.
Yes, I can see. Yep.
Okay, so if we go to the very top of that chat stream, let's see. I think Sharon actually has the first question. She says, I am a design engineer who helps people design and develop new products. Oh, well, sorry, that's Mike's question. Let me go to Sharon's. I'm sorry to sign in late. Will this presentation be available? Yes, Sharon, as I said, I will be emailing that to you. Shantae has a question. How do you protect an event, patent, trademark, or copyright?
Are you see?
Shantae actually asked that question. How do you protect an event? Shantae, do you need, let me see if I can fix your setting to where you can actually unmute if you need to elaborate on that question for her to make clear she understands what you're asking. Okay, you should be able to unmute, Shantae, if you need to.
Sorry, yes, thank you. I was just thinking maybe the event name, is that a trademark?
It's just a one-time event.
An annual event?
It could be possibly a trademark. We can, if you send me an email, we can look at that and see, we can do some checking to see what's already out there and what other, you know, if other people are trademarking. Would you publish it or it's just just presenting?
I'm not really sure how to answer that question, but I will email you and we can have a one-on-one.
Yeah, send me a note. And also trademarks usually are out there if you're selling something. So do you see yourself selling any products after the presentation or?
Yes.
Okay, so then it would be a trademark, so it would come into place. So you send me an email and we will look to see what's there and then go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I've scrolled through and I think I've gotten the next question. Philip wants to know, is there a provision patent for short stories?
Philip, it would probably be copyright. So we would, you'll receive copyright automatically with once you have your story down on paper or on, in a Word document, you can register it with the Copyright Office though. So a story would be copyright. Does that help if you're there?
Philip, if that doesn't completely answer your question, feel free to reach out to OKS BDC and we can make that connection with Suzanne, or you can contact Suzanne directly with the information provided on the screen. Let's see, Stan wants to know, can you use a trademark to protect a pen name of an author?
That is a good question. It usually, again, would you be selling anything associated with the name? Stan, I can look into that and let Cindy know, send her an answer for sure, and then she can reach out to you. Unless you're selling something with that name, it might just be associated with the author, because you can't really protect an author name, but unless you're doing something else with that name, are you
I've been
Are you
using
there?
it as a pen name for decades, but is there a way to protect it so nobody else comes in and starts using it to sell stuff and then there's confusion?
Possibly. You're just going to use it for written work, for additional written works?
Yes, which may at some point be commercialized, but right now it's mostly been for newsletters and, things like that. It hasn't been commercial yet.
Are you working with a publisher or just on your own?
No, mostly as a self-published or like newsletters for small groups.
Let me look into that, and I'll send a note to Cindy and then she can reach out to you. Is that okay?
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, I believe Terrence is next in the chat stream. He says, I have a trademark and I need to rename it. Do I need to resubmit from scratch?
Yes. Yeah, Terrence, we'd have to submit another application. Are you working with an attorney, or you might reach out, the patent office or trademark office might have a way to paperwork to do that, so you don't have to start all over. Let me check with that as well, about that as well. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, that's fine. Yes, I did it
So
myself, and I one of my attorneys kind of assisted me, but I kind of understood the process and I submitted and I have it and everything's good. I just did it for local for right now, and then I'm going to move to the system-wide level, statewide level here a little bit later on.
So this is Oklahoma. You sent the paperwork into Oklahoma?
Yes, ma'am. I have it approved for a trademark in Oklahoma and everything, but I hadn't taken it nationally yet.
So have you contacted the Secretary of State or?
No, I have not. I wanted to get information and kind of get some more information from taking this class. And then that would kind of help me know what I needed to do next, because I really just kind of did it reading information, going on the website and kind of consulting with my attorney a little bit with what information that they had. So I pretty much did it all on my own.
Good. Okay. So I would reach out to the Secretary of State and ask them how to change it from there at their end. And then, on the national level, you can use that new name.
Okay. And then one quick other question, if I may. I already have a license, I guess you want to say logo and all that. Do I necessarily need to go ahead and get that trademark as well, because it's already licensed and it's already has a global license anyway through the party that I had to develop and design from, and it's already paid. So I need to do it as well?
Well, registering a trademark either with the state or the federal government is optional. You don't have to. It's a good idea too, for more protection. If your business gets, your product's really successful, it's a good idea to spend a little extra money and have it registered, but it's optional. You can use the little TM on it.
Okay.
You can't use the R. The R with the circle is for when it's registered with the federal government, but you can put a TM next to it that kind of stating that this is your mark.
Okay.
So it's optional, but if you down the road, you might consider registering it.
All right. Thank you so much. I will be in touch. I appreciate it. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Okay, there's another question. Besides searching for the patent, what preliminary work should be done before contacting anyone for help or even an attorney? Should drawings be semi-complete? If so, are there professionals that draw up blueprints?
Good question. The patent office requires that the drawings be done in a certain way. So you have to use the CAD software and so on to draw them up. There are companies that do that. Usually the patent attorney would know. I think that you could do the drawings on your own initially, and then the attorney would either contract out to have them done up to speed to the patent office. Does that make sense? I don't think you need to do them perfectly before you see the attorney. They can be done as best as you can. And then the attorney would be sure that they're done as the patent office needs them to be. Does that help?
Yes, that helps. Yep.
I will add, that's another good question. Let me ask and get back to Cindy because you can cut some costs by doing some of the work on your own up front and not just having the attorney do everything. So that is a good question. Let me see if you do the blueprints perfectly, say you know what the criteria are that the patent office has, would that save you costs with the attorney? Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. So we have another question. Should I trademark my course program?
So this would probably be copyright. If you developed a class, say a material for a course you're teaching, it would fall in copyright. Unless you came up with a name for the course, then you might be looking at a trademark. And again, if you're not selling it, are you selling it or?
Yes. Yes.
You are selling it.
Yes, I will be selling it. It's a course for entrepreneurs and I will be selling it. I do have a name for it and I am creating the content for it as well.
Okay, so yes, so the name of the course would be a trademark, and then you would copyright the content of the course.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, Sarah is asking, how do I copyright photos and videos?
So good question, Sarah. There again, the Copyright Office has information for that. They'll have in one of those, in that drop-down menu I showed you, there's a section on photos and videos. Like I said before, that copyright is automatic. Once you take a photo, you automatically have copyright. It belongs to you. If you want to register it, you can go to the copyright.gov and then register it there. I will send Cindy the file that they have for that at the Copyright Office, and then you can read through that.
Okay. All right. Everyone should have the ability to unmute if you would like to unmute and ask Suzanne a question.
Hey, yes.
Everyone is second.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey, this is Jay Parker. Hey, I'm asking, I'm inquiring about a restaurant. So I own a pop-up restaurant right now. And so when it comes to trademark, would I trademark my name and my logo? And then as far as copywriting, would that be like everything that's part of my menu, maybe hashtags that I use for social media? Can you answer that?
The trademark would be the name for your restaurant. You could register with the Oklahoma Secretary of State. There was a link in the slides, or Cindy or I can get that contact to you. For the menu, copyright does not apply to everything, like hashtags. The menu, for example, like with the food product, copyright won't protect just say the ingredients on a label. So there's some things like a menu, just a listing of the menu, probably not, but say you include on the menu some description about the restaurant or a history of how it came to be, that if there's more content there, that might be a copyright. But for example, on the Copyright Office website, there's a whole flyer or a flyer on you can't copyright a recipe. It's just a listing of ingredients. They won't protect that, but they will protect, say you include a history, you know, my grandmother, and describe how that recipe came to be. If there's more content, then they would give you copyright on that. So let me check about the menu. I don't think so, but you could register the name of your company with the Secretary of State.
Okay, we've got another question in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and launch a satisfaction survey as we answer that question. We are required by SBA to obtain a satisfaction survey at the end of every training. So I'm going to launch this, and if you have the ability to fill that out, I would love to have your feedback. And in the meantime, Stephen has a question, Suzanne, that says, can you go into more depth on the copyright? For example, if I film videos for content of my business, will I need to copyright each individual video, or will all videos fall under one copyright?
I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I'll check with that, Stephen. Let me get back to Cindy again. It's like, it might be on the Copyright Office website. I'm assuming you're going to copyright each one, and then, because each is its own individual thing, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, Suzanne. I guess to clarify, I'm a woodworker, and I make content creation based on products that I make, and so I post them on my social media pages and my website. And I wanted to know if I needed to copyright every video, or if there's just one standard umbrella that they would fall under if somebody was to take and share that, because that seems to be the consensus a lot with social media pages like TikTok and Instagram, where companies are copying your content and sharing them on other platforms, or just fraudulently sharing them altogether. So
I would do each one, but let me, I mean, if you automatically have copyright, you can put the C on each one as soon as they're created. So maybe do both, put a copyright message on each, or symbol and whatever statement on each one, but then also on the entire series. Are these on the web, or?
They're on multiple platforms. They're on my website for my company, or all of our social media platforms. Our company logo is trademarked, and it is on. It's a screen on every video that we do, but I didn't know if the copyright had to be done.
Yes, I would put the C on all of those things, and you can register them if you want. It's optional. It provides a little bit more protection if you register at the, but I guess if you